awake, you know, and you can follow the topic which I'm going to present now, which is around BIM 360. And I call this presentation BIM 360 Common Data Environment because what I would like to show you how BIM 360 can really help you as a common data environment, or what I'm used to say, one source of truth, and why you should choose Autodesk solution, because of course there are other ones on the market. So let's have a look, and let's start with the first slide where I put some questions, or maybe, you know, some statements of people who are working. And I believe that if you are in AEC business, if you are communicating and collaborating on some projects, you are familiar at least with some of them, you know. And they have something in common, which means, you know, where is the truth? Where is the right document? Where is the right communication on the project? And in fact, why this one is happening? Because there is a lot of communication, and communication is done on paper, and sometimes partially on the paper, partially digitally, but it results in some misunderstanding. And of course, later on, it can have even some subsequences. Not only not very happy people who should collaborate in nice environment, but it can also have some jurisdictional consequences. And this is something which I believe all of us want to avoid, and we want to work a different way. And if you look why something like this is happening, is because the way how people are communicating on AEC projects can be really, I wouldn't afraid to say, messy. Because at the very beginning, the communication can start as a clear, you know, way how people will communicate. Investor will send some documents to the people, and they are creating their own documents. They start to collaborate, and then, you know, they are exchanging information, they are exchanging data, but unfortunately they are using different platforms, and in fact more and more platforms is coming into the picture, but at one moment it will start to be very chaotic, you know. So basically the informations are moving and people are losing track what is happening. So where is the truth? Who is owner of this? Who has the right version? Who has the right document? And so on and so forth. And this is something which is happening. Of course, this is a little bit exaggerating, but let's put it this way: this is reality. And in fact, what we are suggesting is to put all information, all documents, at one location, that everybody is looking to the same data, to common data environment. And in fact, we in Autodesk, we are proposing cloud solution. The reason why we are proposing cloud solution is that these information are available, as we say, 24/7, basically 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. And you can work online, offline, and another advantage opposite to on-premises solution is that you as a company, because in AEC business you need to collaborate with different companies, so if they want to access the data, you don't have to let them to go behind your firewall, behind your security wall. And in fact, we are not talking only about documents that they are shared on one location. But if we are talking about AEC projects, it's also about other information. It's not only about information which are in the model or in some layout, but also entire communication which is related to this. Of course, it's a little bit obsolete, you know, even though we can still see that people are putting some notes to the drawings, to the paper drawings, but more often people are using some emails, you know, and it's in Czech language, you know, where they are attaching some PDF with some notes inside of the PDF, and they are just saying, hello to this PDF and check what's going on. And to keep track with such a way of collaboration, some people are having some Excel sheet where they are putting information, who shared what, and when it should be finished, and it should be resolved, and so on and so forth. And this is also which is causing the trouble later on, you know, so not having entire communication in one location. And this is what we are proposing, not only having documents, all documents in cloud, but also having people have access to this cloud solution, and also keeping entire communication in cloud, which means that what we are offering you is possibility not only to store the entire document, like for example the DWG file as a one document, but what we are enabling you to go inside of the document, to see model space, to see paper space, same with Revit file, that you can see, you can go inside and you can work with the data inside of the document, and you can make notes, markups, issues on these information, on these documents. And of course, then having the possibility to have some dashboards or reports, you know, what's going on, to have a clear idea if things has been resolved or not, who is the owner, and I used to say, on which side is the ball, you know, so if you communicate with somebody, you send him some notes that he should solve it, and then just you can quickly check if he replied to you or not. And of course, also to having some, let's say, management point of view, you know, just to be able to see the project as a one dashboard, you know, and to see if people are, let's say, ahead of time or behind of the time. So, if we are talking about common data environment, then we are talking about what we call BIM 360. And BIM 360 as a cloud solution has, I would say, a lot of functionality. And I already mentioned some of them, and now I could start, okay, we are supporting view of more than 70 different file formats. You can view it, you can work with this. We are keeping versioning, we have automatic notification, so on and so forth. But what does it mean for you? How it can help you? And this is why I have another slide where on one side are the basically processes, some processes on the customer side. I mean, it can be on the construction company, it can be in design office. This is on left-hand side, and on right-hand side you have functionality of BIM 360. Again, just some of the functionality. And the process on your side, on the customer side, can be visualized as some flow chart. Yeah? And this is where we can help you, because if you want to achieve something, for example, coordination, so then, based on your workflow, and this is some example only, based on your workflow, you can choose different functionality and to really create your workflow based on your requirement. And here, just I want to show you some example how to make BIM coordination. And please take it really as an example how we can solve one of the processes. And what I draw here is some, real flow chart. Here are different personas who are involved in the process: MEP, designer, architect, but of course there can be structural engineering, and so on and so forth. Then there is BIM manager. Again, it can be BIM manager. It can be a responsible person for the design. BIM coordinator, basically somebody who is coordinating all the data together. So, and these guys, they have different tasks, they have different responsibilities, but they can use one platform where they can solve their tasks. So let's start with the first part, and this is uploading data. So I'm talking about designing process. Basically, design process is, let's say, done, and these guys, MEP, engineer and architects, they want to upload the data. So how it can look, and again, this is example only, and working with Revit. I'm designer, yes, so projektant is in Czech language designer, and I'm using Revit as an architect to make my design. So what I can do, of course, I can split my design as an entire building, or maybe just level by level, whatever I want to do, and then I can have a lot of views, but I can make a decision what will be populated on BIM 360. So basically, I have the control over the data which I am pushing to the cloud. I can have a lot of information on my computer, but the cloud will be only part. But as I said, they will be visible for the other people only part. And the same way, MEP engineer. So he has either entire model, or he's, as an example, I just separated third floor. And now, using very simple method, just drag and drop, you know, I can drop it to BIM 360. Important thing is that I'm working in web browser, which means me as a person working with BIM 360, I don't have to install anything. I'm just using standard Google Chrome in this case, and I populated the data. And you can see here that I populated 3 files, but suddenly I have 6 of them, because what I did, I prepared like entire model and third floor only, and the system automatically created different documents out of it, you know. So I have a view on these documents which are originally coming from one source, or better said from 3 sources times 2, which means altogether 6. So, data uploaded, and now it's task for BIM coordinator to make one aggregated model. So basically to put the data together and to work with this. So let's have a look what BIM coordinator can do. He is at this very same environment, so BIM 360, and he as a BIM coordinator, he has access to what we call model coordination. So he can see the files, but not only this. He can work with them, you know, so he can select third floor from MEP, third floor from architect, and he can immediately see how many clashes are there, because system is automatically finding all clashes. And now, me as a BIM coordinator, I can view it. So basically, I'm saying, okay, glue together, put together 2 different models, and now I have a model of architecture and model of MEP together. And just for the simplicity, because it's better visible, this is why I created only third floor, but of course you can make entire model together. But let's say our task is now to coordinate the third floor. And then I am still BIM coordinator, because I am responsible not only for gluing the data together, but I'm also responsible to find the clashes, and if I find the clash, so I should tell to somebody to resolve it, because I'm the BIM coordinator. So let's have a look what I can do as a BIM coordinator. So I have 2 models together and I see all clashes. So now I can click on clash. So I will select one clash. System will automatically zoom in, the rest of the objects will be hidden, and now I can create what we call issue. Basically, I can create, we call it issue, or we can call it task, however it's called, and I am creating the task for somebody to resolve it. So I'm starting the communication with somebody. So you can see, unfortunately, it's relatively small, but system is proposing to me how it should call, so how it should be named, how it should be description. But of course, I want to put something in local language, so it's in Czech, but of course it can be in Serbian, whatever you want. But the important thing is that I can assign this task to somebody. So I can assign the task, for example, to an MEP engineer. And I'm also telling him, okay, you should solve this issue by some date. And then system will automatically create notification for this guy, he will receive email and he should solve it. Now there is another issue by the system, but for me, I know that this is something which is not really the issue. Let's say this is not an issue because I'm saying I'm going through all the tasks or all the issues, and I'm saying no, this is not the issue. It will be solved on the construction side. So then it's also, let's say, documented that me as a BIM coordinator, I went through each and every item and I covered this and I took care of all of them. And you saw here some metrics where I can see all clashes between all documents which I populated to BIM 360. Yeah, so of course I see the number of the clashes, you know, so let's say this is not very good design because the number of the clashes is pretty high, but of course this is because I didn't make all openings correctly and so on and so forth. But this is up to me to resolve it and to say if it will be done on the construction side or not. So, job of the BIM coordinator has been done. And what I did, I assigned the issue to the designer. And just by the way, within the system, of course, if I know what is the name of the guy, I can send the notification directly to this guy. But what if I don't know what is the name of the guy who is responsible, for example, for MEP on the subcontractor side? Then I can assign the issue, for example, to the role, because I know that it should be solved by an MEP designer. And if the guys are inserted to the system, they can have not only the name, but also the role and the company. And of course, if they have role of MEP designer, then I know they should receive this problem or this issue. So not necessarily I have to know who is on the other side because these guys can change, but I can assign to the role. So now MEP designer received information that he got the notification that he should resolve the issue. So he is coming to the computer after checking his email box where he has the notification, and he can start to work on this. And he's back in, let's say, standard view of BIM 360, and he can see all issues which has been assigned to him. So he can see all of them, if he resolved it or not and everything. And he can see also entire thread of the communication, what happened, who created this, when it was created, if there are some other attachment, because I can attach some other document as an explanation that I see as an issue, and so on and so forth. And me as an MEP engineer, either I can start solve the issue, basically I can go to my Revit, I can start to move elements and so on and so forth. But here is another example that maybe I don't know everything. So I can ask and I can invite somebody else to the communication. So I will just hit add and the name of the person or role, and basically I can start to communicate with other people. And this is the important thing. All this communication is saved in one source of truth. So basically, anytime I can track what happened, who was involved, and maybe who wasn't involved, and so on and so forth. And let's imagine that, okay, as an MEP engineer, I solved some issues, but some issues maybe I didn't solve. And what I want to do is I want to make some coordination meeting, you know, so I want to involve more people and let's meet together and let's work on it. And BIM 360 is a tool or service, which is open to further programming, you know, so for other application. And here, now I will be showing you something which has been developed by a third party. Based on BIM 360, they created application for virtual reality that you don't have to go on and to have a personal meeting, but you can meet through virtual reality glasses on the model which is saved in cloud, and you can collaborate on this. So it's called Inside VR, it's third-party product, and here is what you can do. So basically, as soon as you have that data in BIM 360, of course you can view it, you can interrogate it, you can make sections, you can get information, and so on and so forth. Yeah? This is standard BIM 360 functionality. But then you can use VR glasses and you can go inside and you see that there are different people having view on the same model, and they can start to work on BIM 360 model, and they can view it, and from within virtual glasses they can create issues, they can create measure stuff. They can measure stuff, they can get properties, and so on and so forth. And not necessarily they have to be in one location, of course, you know. So, example, how you can make your life easier with new technology. Of course, if you prefer face-to-face meeting, you can go for it. And then, the last part is that you want to create a request for information. You as a BIM coordinator, you found some issues and stuff like this, but you need to ask maybe architect for something. A request for information is a tool which is dedicated for clear communication line. So basically what can be done is that administrator can set up the communication line that if somebody is raising request for information, it has to go, in my case, through the manager, which is somebody who is taking care of the project, and he should be informed that I'm asking somebody for information. So it can be, for example, in case of construction, some general contractor, for example. So it's just how it works. And then, let's have a look how it can work. So, if you are a BIM coordinator, so you can create what we call a request for information. And it might look similar like if you are creating issue, but it is not, because you are typing what kind of information you want, because maybe there is some clash, so basically you want to move it by 50 centimeters. For example, this is my example. And of course I can attach any document, or I can relate my request to any document which is sitting in BIM 360. So basically, I can show in plan or in 3D if I want to move wall, which wall it is. So basically, I can click and say, okay, this is this model, this wall. And of course, I can add more documents if I want. But then I'm typing to whom I want to send this request for information. And there was one guy only, there was this BIM manager. Basically, this is predefined workflow where only the BIM manager can receive this request for information. And I'm typing also up to which date I want to solve this issue. I can also add co-reviewers, which is something like, if you imagine email communication, CCing somebody. Basically, you can CC that somebody is informed about this. And then, I am, as you see, BIM manager, so I can see which request for information has been raised. So because I received email notification, so I click on the link, I went down into the BIM 360, and I see entire request, you know, and now, because I'm aware of it as a BIM manager, I can push it to the architect. So basically all information is going through me, and of course I am assigning now the request for information to other guy, which is architect. And then if I'm logged in as an architect, so basically you can see that I'm now architect, so I can see that I was asked for information if wall can be moved by 50 centimeters, and of course based on my knowledge I can either say yes or not, or again I can invite somebody else to the communication if I don't have enough information inside of my company, outside of the company. And again, all this communication will be stored even when the request for information is closed or issue is closed or any communication, then everything is solved. And you can see that I'm clicking to some email boxes because system is automatically generating notification. If me as an architect will ask for this, it will be automatically notified the manager that I received this. So this is one workflow how we can help you. And in fact, we also understand that what I used to say, one size doesn't fit all. So basically what I want to say is that in AEC business, there are different personas. There is designer, there can be a guy on the construction side, there can be supervisor, and so on and so forth. And each of them, they need some different stuff. So, architecture of our BIM system is that we have all data stored in cloud. This, I believe, you already understand. And then, on the top of this layer, there are all information. We have connection to our tools. So I showed you just you can drag and drop, but we have direct connection to our products using what we call desktop connector. Then we have layer for analysis and insight, basically being able to look to this data from different perspectives to make some dashboards, reports, and so on and so forth. And then we have vertical solutions for different personas. Basically, design is for designer, reconstruction is for BIM coordinator or BIM manager, whatever is the name for this guy. And then we have also a module for construction. Basically, this is for construction company who needs a little bit different than the design, obviously. And then we have also a layer which I introduce you with this virtual reality. Basically, we have API which is allowing third parties to access the data and make some other development on the top of it. Yeah? And just put the name, so we have BIM analysis docs, we have BIM analysis design, BIM analysis coordinate, and BIM analysis build. Just that you understand that our system is modular, and depending which person within the design process or construction process need different functionality, you can purchase different modules on the top of it. And of course, always everything communicates together, because as an example, you saw BIM analysis coordinate, which was used by BIM coordinator to find the clashes, but then he created issue, and the issue was received by designer using BIM analysis docs. So that you understand that these modules are working together seamlessly, depending only on just which what is the availability of the functionality. So with that, why BIM 760? Because this is a single platform, not only for data, but also for entire communication on the project. Based on this, you can make an informed decision, because you know what's going on. You don't have to search for data in your email or in other platforms. Of course, you can eliminate some errors, omissions, you know. You can also have predictability, because you have other tools, like if you are a construction company, you can gather throughout your projects information which can help you in subsequent projects to predict what will happen, that you are maybe in the stage where some problem can occur. So this is another possibility. And scalability, I believe you understand, because you can start with just basic module, but depending what you want to achieve, if you have 2D or 3D, you can really scale the solution accordingly. So with that, I would like to finish. I believe I'm on time. Yeah, just on the time. And if there are any questions, or it was crystal clear, or you are so tired. Where is the truth?